When it comes to justice, is there a deadline? So today, we're going to dive into a case from 1989 that did exactly that. Okay, so our story kicks off back in October 1985. Jangam Rajeswari had been deserted by her husband, and the court granted her what was supposed to be a lifeline to help her survive, 130 rupees a month.
For years, her husband, Srinivasa Rao, just ignored it. He paid absolutely nothing. So for Rajeswari, that lifeline was just an illusion, and it forced her into this incredibly long and frustrating legal fight just to get what she was already owed.
Second, and this is the real kicker, is there a time limit on how much back pay a person can actually claim? So just as Raju found himself at a legal crossroads with two previous court decisions pointing in totally opposite directions. On one side, you had a case called Madhuri Bin, which argued that the law's one-year time limit applies to everything, whether it's seizing property or sending someone to jail. But then you had the Iftikhar Hussain case, which said no, that one-year limit only applies to seizing property. So, using that principle, Justice Raju took a step back and looked at the whole point of the maintenance law in the first place. He reasoned that its main goal is to provide a speedy remedy for a current necessity, for things like food and shelter right now. It was never designed to be a tool for someone to just let debt pile up for years and years and then collect a giant lump sum later on. And that line of thinking led him straight to his landmark ruling. He declared that an application to enforce a maintenance order can only be for the money that piled up in the 12 months right before the application was filed. But after fighting for 5 long years, she could only collect 1 year of back pay.
But even though the outcome for Rajeswari herself was so tough, her long and difficult journey had a massive ripple effect. This single decision managed to cut through years of legal confusion and created a clear, uniform standard for all of India.
Because this one-year rule is still a huge deal in family law today. This case really forces us to ask a fundamental question about justice itself. When you put a time limit on a legal right, is that a necessary safeguard to keep the system fair and efficient? Or is it a barrier that can stop a deserving person from getting what they are truly owed?